Come and get started on a new mission, a new direction, a new intention. Welcome to 5.8G Alive at Connections 50 Plus. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, catering to all your prospects in the third act of life.
Economic well-being, social gratification, personal fulfillment.
Join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Connections 50 Plus Facebook page, YouTube channel,
and on Gael the Caribbean.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive show. I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, and as usual, with me is my colleague.
Hi, everyone. This is Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite. Nice to be here. Jennifer, put a handle on my name, please. I'm 60.
Yes, and we want to show we had a great time. I don't need to, let me start off as she
Put
said
a handle
that.
on my name. Just put a handle on my name.
Yeah, Terri-Ann. I was wondering if the handle was saying Mrs., but
No.
the handle is saying 60s.
On the second stage of this third act.
Yeah.
Officially.
So yes, Terri-Ann, and I must say
I'm going
to
for my
our
booster
friends and followers out there that we had a great, the celebration was beautiful, So hopefully we make sure you'll be able to show you some little clips or photos. And if you follow the Facebook, you would have seen,
Go on Facebook. Go on Facebook.
Yeah.
But Jennifer,
So that was really nice.
I must thank you and all of our Connections people publicly. You all are such darlings. I mean, even when you celebrate your birthday, I celebrate mine. We see really all the love and the warmth and how many of you are following and interested. And I really, it warms my heart. The best part of it was really the camaraderie and just the fun of being together. You find an open space in COVID and it was great. But you all are looking like a grown-up, looking like a second stage of the stages person, You 50-year-olds, I've left you all, bye-bye.
So watching Terri-Ann, this is the new 60. Full of energy, beautiful, full of energy.
And we in sunshine colors today. Sunshine colors.
Yes.
So yes.
Yes. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jen, this week we are continuing our program.
Yes, on Dollar Savvy. And I must say, Terri-Ann, that again, to thank all those, it just got such positive feedback. I was a bit surprised because I was just telling my business. But I'm very happy for the feedback, knowing that the information I shared did help many of you all, to look within and say, you know what, you can do it. You can handle your situation. There are solutions,
Jennifer, before we start Dollar Savvy, I have to share a joke. I had a friend tell me, I don't know why you and Jennifer sit down there on the people TV talking all my business. Who tell all this to talk all my business? So people, we are going into Dollar Savvy now to really get to know more about Sage. So we'll see you on the other side. So Jennifer, last week we got into the whole background of where you were and your situation. And we talked about the medium term property development side of it. And you, at the end of our discussion, you talked about your venture into Sage, which I think we should spend a few minutes talking a bit more about so that everyone will understand where you're going. So tell us about Sage.
The Sage Marketplace, a fun way to shop in the comfort and safety of your home. Easy to wear, affordable clothing for the young at heart. You can feel comfortable and look snazzy at the same time. We deliver directly to your door. The Sage Marketplace. See you there.
Okay, so the Sage Marketplace, really, it's an online store, and what I'm catering to, and I say the young at heart. Well, you know, we're on it's a 5.8G stage. So I'm the young at heart because I feel I want to energize people. And because also you find at this time during this pandemic, at least for the last 2 years and moving forward, it seemed that we're going to be more in than out. So we're spending a lot of time at home. And with that in mind, the Sage Marketplace at this stage, because we're going to be evolving into different products, but as it is right now, it is all about clothes. It is for men and women. And I am talking about easy wear, cool, comfy clothes that you could relax at home. You're working from home, you're entertaining, you're just having fun. Or if you want to just step out, because many times you may be home and your home clothes you find not suitable enough to run in the grocery, etc. So it's really casual. I call it easy wear type clothes. And that is because I shared last week, and I must mention, and I don't know if he's watching now, I shared last week, it came out of my pet peeve that I find you shouldn't be wearing old clothes at home. All the old things you have, you wear at home.
Comfortable clothes, Jennifer, comfortable clothes.
I say old clothes, right? I am really the Sage going to be offering comfortable clothes, looking good, looking snazzy. So because I feel if you home more,
no threadbare clothes.
Yeah, you want to feel good. And I got, in the feedback, one person said, and so she agreed with me, or she could relate to that statement I made about having old clothes at home, wearing no old clothes at home. And what she said is that she has found in her situation, when she's dressed at home, especially now when you're working at home, she really feel more productive. It puts you in that different frame of mind. So not everybody will be working at home, but even when you're entertaining, you're chatting with friends, you put you in a great mood. So I want to change that from just, as Terri-Ann may say, comfortable in your old clothes to be looking cool and feeling cool. It's all about how you feel. I really want, Terri-Ann, for people to feel good, feel good about themselves. When you turn around, if the mirror is there and you're looking at you, still feeling good. And that's really what the Sage Marketplace is all about, catering to the young at heart. Yeah.
Great. So people, there you have it with Dollar Savvy segment, and you understand Jennifer's story. We're going to go, so that's Dollar Savvy. So we'll see you on the other side when we get into another segment.
So for our In Tune segment, we have Terri-Ann coming to chat with me. And this is because we mentioned that for the Dollar Savvy, we're talking about more or less the economic challenges, which is where I came from and why I created the Sage Marketplace. But we also want to share, so for those who are listening, of course, could have related, especially those who are into financial constraints. But there are many of you also who have, to deal with your emotions and make some very serious decisions. I always say life-changing decisions. And in Terri-Ann, when Terri-Ann spoke, she's going through her own challenges with her parents, ensuring that they enjoy the best of health, if we may put it that way, and are very comfortable in spite of their situation. But Terri-Ann, what I admire the most, because you are hitting that highway San Fernando, going to San Fernando. For those who may not know, I don't know how many miles I can't average from where
Plenty.
you are
Plenty.
to there. All I know, it would take a long while.
40 to 45 minutes highway driving.
Yeah, and I admire you with that, because I'm thinking age do make a difference sometimes. I just can't imagine me hitting that highway almost every day, and to visit, not just to visit, but to manage the situation. Terri-Ann, what giving you that? What? Where are you getting that energy from? Let me ask that.
Well, the thing about it is that I suppose fundamentally the energy comes from love of parents. It's like your children or your parents are in distress, and I am the sibling that is here, so you really have to do it. But Jennifer, I don't think if you were to ask me what my issue is and where I run the risk of getting out of tune with myself, is forgetting myself in the middle of all of this. And very often we talked about us being the panini, the cheese or the ham or whatever sandwich you would require or you like. And as time is going on and as things are settling and you have a better sense of really how dire things are, at the start of it, you could devote a lot of time because it's emergency and it's urgent. But then it gets settled too serious. And because I have a very multi-dimensional life. We have a business that we are continuing to run. We have this program to do. It's a very important part of my life and our life. And this challenge that I'm going to talk about, I mean, it is something that I think a lot of us face, but many of us are shamed into not speaking our truth about the real conflict between taking care of yourself and taking care of a parent, or allowing caregivers to do the things that your upbringing or your conscience or other people might say, but you should be doing that, and really not being guilty or ashamed or feeling any way of, or just being satisfied that I'm providing the best care. I'm making sure you get excellent care, and I am taking time when I need to take time, and not feeling guilty about that, and deciding that if I am tired, I'm just not going. I have to take care of myself, the whole notion of put on your oxygen mask before you tend to others. And that experience is the thing that I am finding coming to the fore, not in any guilt trip or anything like that, but I am recognizing how much pressure people could be under when you have to care for others. And fortunately, at this time, there is economic pressure because some bills are on top of everything that you never expected. So there is an economic constraint. But the real issue here is when you decide, how is the quality of my life to be impacted by this versus maintaining a quality of life that my parents would have been accustomed to, and the kinds of decisions that need to be made to balance that.
Terri-Ann, I remember in one of our sessions, not a group session, one of our forums, chatting about, a similar situation, how we deal, the type of decisions we make, and how you can balance your life, especially, someone like you in that situation. And I recall one of the participants sharing that she is a caregiver also with her mom, and her challenge is that she don't feel anybody can do it as good as she is. And I guess too, because when you love someone a lot and you grew up with them for your whole life, you know what they like, what all their likes, dislikes, etc. And now you almost have to train someone, you know, to take over from you, and that has been her challenge. And I know I have other friends who say the same thing, you know, that it's all one thing to get help, but you can't get good help. And I know we spoke about help, and we had Carol come in to share with us about the training with the caregivers, etc. But yeah, being able to let go, being able to take care of yourself, as you say, putting on that oxygen mask, definitely for those who's listening, who in similar situations like yours, Terri-Ann, I think that what you are doing is really helps, because if you don't do it at all, then you're gonna be run down. You won't be able to hit that highway.
Be dead.
Other thing, Terri-Ann, do you find, having made that decision, do you find you get that I would say that's not what sort, and let me ask you this, what sort of feedback you get from your parents if you miss a day, and if you know what do they expect?
They rant and rave and they carry on like they're crazy. But as I say, I mean, I have said to them, I am the treat. There is no one that I can hire who can replace me in caring for them. There is no one. It is like you have to go to work and your children have to be taken care of by a babysitter. A babysitter is not mommy. So no one can equate or replace my taking care of my parents. But I cannot. I simply, physically cannot. I have my own family to take care of. I have my professional life to take care of, and I have me to keep sane. So I have said to them, I am the treat. I am the treat. When you see me show up, Santa Claus, good times, I am the treat. So you have something to look forward to. But I don't at all put the pressure on the caregivers that I have, and they are beautiful people.
Yeah.
They love what they do their best. It is not at all like I would do it, but it is very satisfactory. And when I show up and there's some things, there's some duties that the caregivers do that I will not do. I will not take away any of their duties. So when I show up, I do different things. So it's all the affection, it's the hugging, it's the lie down in the bed and all talk, it's the laugh, it's the I will cook a special meal and bring it for them. So it's not, there is a clear difference between when Terri-Ann comes and is there and their ordinary everyday life of their caregivers taking care of them. And I think that is what I maintain to make sure that they don't begin to resent the caregiver, resist the caregiver, and not cooperate with their caregivers because they're waiting for Terri-Ann to come. Because Terri-Ann is not going to do the things that the caregivers do all the time. Terri-Ann is coming with, I'm the treat. I
like the analogy with the with your children and like the nursery, that you love them to that you wish you could have them all the time, but you have to let them go in the hands of someone else who you trust.
Exactly.
And you have to trust. Yeah, exactly. I love that.
And they make mistakes, huh? Oh, Jennifer, mistakes are made.
Yeah, well, it's expected.
But we learn.
But they also know that you are there coming in and you will be checking.
Yeah. And I think that is the so yes, the complaints are made. I haven't seen you for 5 days. I haven't seen you for 4 days. Where have you been? And I'll say,
but you're on the phone. You're on the phone.
Oh, every day you talk to me, every day.
And every day you're on the phone.
And I got them a cell phone, but I dragged them into the digital age. I mean, they didn't want to use a cell phone, but now they can video chat with me or whatever it is.
Right. So it makes a difference.
Yeah. So I am available and accessible. And I think the most important thing is to understand that I am not the caregiver. I am providing services for you. These people are taking care of you. And when I come, I am the treat. And we will do different things. We will have fun in different ways. And when I leave, then you go back to regular care. So it's really like training children.
Yeah, because Terri-Ann, there are definitely those who feel alone, like they're alone there to do it. And you mentioned in your case, you have siblings, but they're all overseas.
Yeah.
In other situations, that person might be the only one around. And again, if they don't see the need to take care of themselves, they'd have 2 patients, within that
Mind you,
household.
Jennifer, they resisted, They resisted. So my father would when he sees me, oh gosh, Terri-Ann, just move me, help me pull up a little bit. And I would say, you need to move. You now need to move. And call the caregiver and I say he needs to move. And I'll sit down and watch her move him. I'm not doing it.
As I say, it's a form of training, and he has to get himself used to. And they do, How, Terri-Ann, how for those who may have siblings away, and I know there are situations, and I have it in my own family, where when you have siblings away, they tend to give a lot of orders from overseas. And if you're not strong enough to deal with it, you may find yourself torn between what is being done here in Trinidad and what they think should be done. How you would say, how you deal with that?
Where something requires contact and touch, who is able to contact and touch makes a decision. So unless you're present, you can give an opinion, but I'll make the decision. And where there's a need for us to contribute to, you don't need touch, so it would be contribute financially or to think about a strategy or approach to something, then all right, there's collaboration and there's an agreement on, all right, this is how everyone will contribute for A, B, or C, or this is how we will approach this item. And that works. But I really don't, I don't allow myself to get into those kinds of, I'm not affected by that external stuff. I'm on the ground, I'm seeing what happens. I will explain to my siblings up front, this is the situation, this is what I think would happen.
Yeah.
We get all the feedback, but once we decide this is where it's going, this is where it's going. I think those kinds of distractions are the same kind of energy draining things as a parent insisting that you be there to do this or you be there to do that. And thankfully, my siblings, it's either that they're the most understanding people in the world and I love them to death, or they know that I am very, very single-minded. I prefer to believe that they're the most beautiful people in the world and they understand and they trust me. Not that they think that I'm real bullheaded and I wouldn't take them on. Nah, it's the former.
Terri-Ann, now that you're actually in this situation, handling this situation with your parents, do you think there's a need for us, and I'm saying us, we have 5.8G, to have the conversation with our children, in the event certain things to happen, have that discussion? Because I recall being in a seminar once where the speaker mentioned or recommended that it's good to identify, know your siblings or know your loved ones, know which one may be more on maybe the financial side, one different skill sets. Look at the skill sets to know who you will identify in the rules to make that decision. Do you see the need for that sort of discussion?
It's not a discussion anymore. It's action. It's action. It's too late for discussion when we are to that stage. It's too late. If we are talking at this stage, we are in denial. If we cannot honestly say that of all our siblings, if we're blessed to have parents alive, or even if you have a sibling that would need care, if at this stage you don't know who should do what, and you allow them to do it, then somebody needs to take charge. Yes, if at this stage you don't know, then I don't think a discussion is worthwhile, because you don't have enough time for all the to and fro of discussion. Somebody's got to take the lead and get it done. I think the more valuable lesson, Jennifer, that I am discovering is, as we've said before, our generation would do what we're doing. Our children, their lives are, and it's not that they don't care about us, their lives are so dynamic and changing and complicated, and we've allowed them so much room to discover themselves and so on. And we've taken so much responsibility away from them that in 20 years time, when I'm in my 80s, 10 years time for yourself, and everybody else just look at the time frame. We have to think, when we end up, not what sibling going to do what, we have to think when we are 80, 85, and something happens to us. Siblings are not in a position to help. Your children have a different thought. What are you going to do? What am I going to do? Because my parents are wedded to their house. Their house is their crown achievement. They built this house, but the house is a big albatross on their back, and it's the hardest thing for them to emotionally separate from, I think of me in 10, 15 years time, and I swear to God, Jennifer, I look at the house that I live in now, there's 17 steps to go up to get to my bedrooms. All right, 17. I don't have bedrooms. I mean, this office, I could put a bed in it. No. I know that I cannot be here in 15 years, 20 years. I cannot be here. I will be confined to a bedroom or confined to somewhere downstairs. So in my mindset, what I am thinking seriously of now is, if I am not here, then where am I? My son's be the most loving and caring. But if I would need to have somebody to physically carry me up and down the step every day, or break open my wall to put an elevator in the house at that expense, for what? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So I think the thing that I am reflecting on is, okay, I am seeing the difficulty. I have to make myself a treat for my parents because I can't be there all the time. I think it is going to be even worse in 15 years time when my sons have to deal with this. And I'm not the kind of person to expect a daughter-in-law to to do this, or grandchildren. So one of the things that I'm realizing that our cohort better start deciding on, not talking. It's not enough time to talk. Is where are you going to be? Look around at where you are now. Can you be there at 80, 85, 90? Who is going to be around you to take care of you? You know, geriatric caregivers are $250 to $300 TT a day. It is going to be so much more fun. They are not Monday to Friday people. They are Sunday to Sunday people. And then you need a housekeeper, because the geriatric caregiver doesn't do laundry, doesn't do cooking and general housekeeping and all that kind of stuff. So when you just think of the cost of keeping body and soul together for 24/7 period, and you haven't added in the groceries, your light bill, your phone bill, the doctor visits, the physiotherapist, and all the other things that happens. When you think about that, you really have to say, oh, how far can my pension take me? Or like you did, can I convert an asset into something? We have to think about who will live in this house with me. Find somebody to come and that is what the issue is. My parents are good, but more than ever, I understand that I have to put a plan in place for me.
Great. So it's all about planning your life ahead, which is we talk about all the time, to live a quality life, put things in place so you won't put pressure on the loved ones to make the hard decisions for you. If you put things in place, then it would be easy. And you would feel comfortable knowing that things have been put in place and you share and they know, you know, what you would like. So you have to share your dreams, you have to share, because if you don't talk about it, then they wouldn't know. Yeah, Terri-Ann?
And I think another thing that is it's a difficult thing to think about, and it's something that it's a conversation that was raised with my mom, and this is something I've not decided yet, and it's really, really difficult, because no one can deny the depth of my love for my parents. It's not measured. I can't measure it. No, I cannot measure it. And at this stage of life, I'm not drowning in it, but I've just fallen into it. And I'm going and going, and there's no end. I think the end will come when they end. But even then it doesn't. But one of the things that I'm looking at two frail people, well, one is stronger than the other. And I'm saying, okay, so when one goes, what happens to the other? Because the burden of care is going to be so much more.
But don't you think that's a conversation that they should have with each other?
You mean my parents having it with each other?
Or other, you know, in situations like that?
I recognize clearly that no, they would not have that conversation with each other. But at the end of the day, in my situation, as the sibling in place, the survivor is going to be, I'm going to be left with the survivor. And that is not being said in a negative way at all. So even though now they have each other still, they have caregivers, and that allows me to come in as the treat. When one goes, unless the other one goes kaput immediately after, and I don't think that will happen, I will have you won't need the same amount of care around, but you will have a responsibility for a life that is accustomed to 66 years of companionship. And when I think about what does that mean to keep the surviving spouse going while I continue my life, it's a whole different ball game. And it is not something that we talk about. It's easy to talk about
Yeah.
what do you
And
do
that's
right now.
these type of conversations, that we call it, very difficult conversations.
Mhm.
And coming out of the insurance field, I know how difficult it is for people to discuss, be it anything about death or disability or losing a loved one. So it's always a challenge to discuss and say, what would you like to happen
And I
if
don't,
X, Y, and Z? So that is something that you leave alone, and you hope, you know,
I
that
realize that if you, I realize for me, the wrong question is what would you like? Because you're not in a position to know what you like. I've made that assessment. The next issue is I cannot leave it until it happens, because then you're going to be making very, very difficult decisions in an emotional tornado.
And that's what, and I agree with you about the emotional decision at that time. We are not, I don't think as people we are ready. I don't know if we'll ever be ready to talk about death and making those type of decision. And I know they'll say, what, you want to kill me or what, you know, that kind of comment is get. So yeah, so we have to, and in your case, and for those of who's listening, who many of us in the 5.8G group, we have these challenges coming up. It's there, either with us or with the parents. So,
and Jennifer, I would say
it's time for us to think about it.
And the thing is, we'd say we could think about it. And I want to put this is something that is coming out of my processing this and managing this. And viewers understand that I have a very logical mind, and I could become almost robotic with logic, and I can compartmentalize. So I am able to pull myself emotionally out and look at both parents and decide what is best for them and what do they really like to do. And I can very objectively understand, you know, this is the best course for them. Then I can come back into myself and I can say it's going to be hell hard for me to make that decision. But I believe that if I do that now and I engage my siblings in the discussion of, well, let's look at mom, if she survives daddy, or let's look at daddy with his disability. If he survives mom, what would be the best context for him to live? Or what would be the best context for her to live? And if we have that discussion now, and I am starting the discussion with my siblings, and some of them think I'm mad and wouldn't entertain me.
Yeah, it's difficult.
And others are, yeah, you're right. But if I wait for one of them to pass, to even start to process that kind of thing, I might end up burdened with an outcome that is not good for me or for them. And I would not have any space to have the discussion or feedback without the emotions. And I think what this experience is telling me, and Jennifer, I have to say that had we not been doing Connections 50 plus and focusing on our lives, the way we live, how we manage ourselves personally in a tribe and financially, had I not been doing this, I may have been in a much worse position. And also thinking forward, thinking in the next 5 years, the next 3 years, I would be much less prepared to manage one parent without the other. And I would have been opening myself to input from people who are working totally on emotion and not really understanding the truth of the situation. And at the end, the person who I have to make the best decision for first is me, and then them. And that is not something that we pay attention to. It's not.
Yeah, I know that for a fact. I also aware, and this is just adding this, not to discuss at this stage, but sometimes we also, depending on your family situation, you also look at it, all things, you know, what happens if I go before them? Because I am aware, I had a situation.
Oh,
I had a
that's
situation
what
with
I
a
haven't
client
been
like that.
counted.
A client like that. He was the sole caretaker with his mom, going very good. And in his case, got into, you know, was an accident, and that was it. So these are, you know, Jennifer, those are morbid conversations,
That's right.
but they're real. They're real, and at this stage, we can't afford to wait anymore.
No.
To
No
start
thought.
to think it through and put things in place, you know, so everybody would be as comfortable as they can, and you have peace of mind. Yeah.
Definitely.
So that is, Terri-Ann, you being in tune with yourself and in tune with what's happening, the dynamics of your family right now. Yeah.
Definitely. So, in tune.
Yeah.
So, Jennifer, we are on some journeys. Journeys. And I would say, really, you know, we want to do lessons learned. And while we're in the midst of it, because this is not conclusive hindsight lessons learned,
No.
this is here and now, we're in the middle of the whole thing. And for me, on my part, because we could talk about the business side with you, for me, where this situation is concerned, and I say, you have to act. This is not the time to, remember, we talked last week about when we were in the forum, we talked about you want to go under the table and you have to reach out to a friend. And
Yeah.
don't call no like-minded friend under the table with you, they'll just keep you under the table. Two professionals you have to get on your side, a money manager and a lawyer. Hold, clear, not to go and change nobody will or take nobody money.
Yeah.
But to present things to you in a clear, objective way.
Yeah.
And to identify paths for you going forward, because we are not martyrs, unless you want to be a martyr. If you want to be a martyr, go ahead and do it. I am not a martyr. And it is invested in good legal advice for options in terms of care and what's possible, and talking to people who understand finances to make sure that you know what you're doing with the funds that you have and making the best decisions, because all the money can't be spent on comfort. All the money can't be spent on comfort. You have to pull back and say, hey, you don't need this, so you're not getting it. You need that. And I think those are two critical decisions, and find someone who could help you to balance your emotional extremes with reality.
Yep.
You have to do that. Otherwise, you damage yourself.
Yeah.
So, Janice, you've been on your journey. What nuggets have you learned?
What I've learned is you have to believe in your dream, and because of that belief, you have to really be very intuitive also, and not allow people to come with the negativity, especially getting into a business at this stage in life. You find you get the negatives about, look at the age, how many more years you have, etc., etc. And look at role models, and I would say, look at people who have done it or doing it right now. And for me, I really look at leaders who are 70 plus, those who became leaders, whether it's president, I always talk about the president of the United States right now. And there's so many, you know, others out there who hold very powerful positions and at this age, those who run in big companies, you know, on the boards, etc. So I look at that to give me strength to say, hey, as long you are competent, you have the knowledge, it's nothing to do with age. Actually, I look at it as more experience you have, you're better off. So yes, that's one. The other thing, expect blocks. So when it comes that you do it, it won't deter you, it won't get you depressed because you expect that to happen. And again, you look around in any successful venture, you know, and you listen to stories that, yeah, you have those blocks. So you don't look at it, actually, I'm saying blocks, but you don't look at it like that. But you look at it as they say it all the time, as the opportunities. Because you learn something and you say, hey, because you have learned it, you know how to do it right. All right. And the other aspect I would say is that you should always have timelines. Because if you don't have a timeline, you're not going to be achieving things. So I have, you know, like for me, I say, okay, I am going to open the business, start everything at the 1st of December. I did everything I could have done up to that time, had challenges in between, but that's okay. I am happy I did all that. If I didn't have the timeline, I wouldn't have reached where I reached. So all you do, be able to know to make some adjustments, understand why you're making the adjustments, but it keep you going.
Yeah.
You know? So I would say for me, those are very, very important lessons. And the other smaller ones, but with that faith, knowing that you can do it, actually taking actions, step at a time, you have your action plan. Yeah, no reason why not. So those are my key lessons. And as you say, it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
And be excited. Of course, if you love what you're doing, choose something that you love. Other than that, you're going to be in problems. So I'm very happy doing what I'm doing. And it's all excited, you know? So do what you love.
Definitely. And love what you do.
Yeah.
So I think we are off to a great start. I am extra happy. Tomorrow, hopefully I get my booster shot, Jennifer.
Okay.
I have all my pension letters in, all my pension forms are in. I feel so grown up.
Wow. So just we're gathering. You're going to be gathering.
Gathering and the accumulation phase finished. So it's about this person. And I you know, Jennifer, we could talk about the lessons that we have learned over the past immediate period because of the relevant crises. But I think one of the things that, and this is probably tuned into the younger people, not to give the older ones any heartache and so on, is that one of the things that we have in common is that we always look ahead and plan. Yes. And everything is not going to happen today. But what you do today is laying the foundation for what will happen in 10 years' time, 10, 15, 20 years' time. And for people who are entering the third act of life at 50, I really, really want to say I am happy at 60. Yeah. I am comfortable because I spent my career sacrificing a lot. I had a good time. I didn't sacrifice and didn't enjoy myself. I had a good time. But I thought about this day when I was 30, 40, 50, I was thinking about this day and thinking about how I want to be at this day. And I made sure that I took decisions that would support my being in a place that I can still have me as whole and be smiling and happy to celebrate my 60th birthday. And in the same way, I'm thinking of me 20 years down the line, 20, 25, 30 years down the line, hitting 80, 85, and 90, and preparing and planning. And I can't emphasize enough that you can't just perhaps reach a period and then look around and wonder why I'm not ready, or why nobody helping me, or why I don't have this. And looking at the other people and they say they're rich. He have a wife, she have a husband, they had children.
Planning is key. I talk about that because I plan in the 10 years. I know the next 10 years what's going to happen, beyond it. So we need to know what type of life we want to live at this stage and beyond, because we don't know. We just have to keep planning and have that vision.
Yes, and I think that is a lesson we have learned. And I think those of you who look on at Jennifer and myself, and our lives are not without challenges. Please understand, we do not live perfect lives. We do not have perfect relationships. We do not have perfect children. We do not have perfect careers. We face the struggles that everybody faces. But I think because we have confidence in our abilities and our destiny, and because we know tomorrow could be better because of our talents, we can get through a bad today. And I think that is what
I would say, Terri-Ann, because we choose to be happy. Yeah. I definitely choose to be happy.
And that's so important. And if there is a lesson to be learned, make the decision, I am going to be happy, and organize your life to make sure that you are, and don't be afraid of making decisions that put you in the middle.
Yep.
Who else can be in the middle? Because everyone else is holding on to you to support you. So I think that's the biggest challenge people have to make. And once you do that, then we off to the races with a fantastic 50+ experience. So
Great.
Good. So I'm 60. You're going to be 70. We on the same stage for a couple of months. We're on the same stage. I'm in my 60s and
enjoying the phase. I look back just like you. I'm just happy, happy to be in good health and to enjoy life. And now, all excited to set up this business and have it going, and to see all the, the young at heart, looking good, feeling good, moving around, snazzy looking,
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Great. So people, next week is another week. Next week is the week before Christmas, would you believe?
We're celebrating Christmas next week.
We're celebrating Christmas.
Some sort of celebration.
Yes. So join us and send in your ideas of what you're doing for Christmas. Mention it in the comments. Send it to us on Facebook and WhatsApp, and send pictures of what you've done so far for Christmas and things like that.
All the cake making, clips of all the cake making and decorations, etc.
Because this is the housework week. So while you're doing all the housework, this weekend coming up is the real work session. So take pictures and so on and send them to us, and let's have some fun next week.
Okay.
So see you. Bye.
So, you are over 50. You know what you're about, but you want to have that added edge to streamline your vision. CONEC-TIONS 50+ has the product for you. It's the Primetime 5.8G Reset Coaching Package. We can help you to retool and chart your course for a successful third act journey. It's revolutionary. It's a 3-in-1 composite, smoothening life transition, assuring your financial well-being and empowering your entrepreneurial footprint. This is your time to seize the moment. Take full advantage of this opportunity to become your best self, claim financial confidence, and explore new possibilities. The Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Primetime Reset Coaching Package is a must for you as you follow your passion, love what you do, and do what you love, all while claiming your worth. With this package, you can be well on your way to the best years of your life. Connect with us by going to the Programs tab on your webpage or calling the numbers on the screen. We look forward to seeing you very soon. 50 Plus Tribe and followers from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback. Bye for now.